every day I wake up with a different song playing in my head. It always happens for a real good while. Before I wake up, there's a song that's just repeating itself. And it's driving me crazy. And that song eventually becomes so grating that it encourages me to get out of bed. Today, that song is I don't know the name of it. It's by Bon Iver, and it goes. These might not be the right words, by the way, but it goes like this. This is my version of it. Holy love is on the road, and I surrender our soul. Everything is no. Now, I really need to do something about this because every single song that wakes me up in the morning with this same repetitive merry-go-round of noise that's just going on, they all come from the same playlist that I have on my phone. This is that playlist. It's called Offline. And it's got how many songs? It's got a lot of songs in it. It's got a lot of the same songs. Well, it plays a lot of the same songs. When I play that playlist, I hear a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Those songs always end up being the ones that are stuck in my head. And then they get me out of bed. But you know what? It got me out of bed, so it can't be too bad. So, yes, it is another day. And it is another video. It's the 24th today. And it is, I believe, Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday the 24th. So, there's no grand plans for the day, as usual. And so that means I'm winging it, as always. Now, reading this book about the streets yesterday, it's been really good so far. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this book. It's called The Story of the Streets by Mike Skinner. And it has a picture of a Clipper lighter with the streets written on it. And I first heard the streets when I was about somewhere between 16 and 18 years old. And I started to quite like their music, especially original Pirate material. the album. I listened to that quite a lot, and I thought it was pretty good. Um, and I've been reading the book recently, and I've been surprised by the kind of character that Mike Skinner is. It reminds me of myself much more than I thought he would. And he's quite honest with his vulnerabilities and insecurities. And it seems like he wasn't the social butterfly I would have believed growing up. He said he didn't like to go out to clubs. He said he found the atmosphere in pubs intimidating. I've thought both those things previously, um, especially as a younger man. Um, Things may have changed now, whereas I'm not quite as intimidated by the intimidation. But I certainly remember feeling that way at some point. And he talks about how in his younger days that was how he felt often. And it makes sense to be. So far that's been a great read, and I've been enjoying going through that. So even just yesterday, I managed to get close to halfway through that book. So I think that goes to show whether a book is a good read is how absorbed do you get in it. So how quickly do you get through the book? How much does it draw you in and pull you in and make you want to read more and more and more? That's what a good book will do. So a good book could be recognised by the speed in which you read it. If it stimulates your appetite for what is written in there, then you just get to a place where you just can't stop. And I got to that place with books many times before. I found books that just completely took all my attention away from me for an extended period. And they're the memorable ones. They really impact the way you feel in the moment. And I've recently remembered what it was I loved so much about reading. And being on the internet so much and having other things to do, at some point in time, took away my constant habit of reading that I had developed from probably just from being at school and being encouraged to read all the time. But whilst reading yesterday, I really remembered why it is I read books in the first place. It's the way that the language appears on the page and the way that the written word has this magical nature that's imbued within it. And you can find that in other ways that are similar but are never quite the same as a good book. So when I was at university, I was reading books all the time. That was what I used to do a lot. I would buy a lot of books, I would read a lot of books, and I'd spend a lot of my time reading books. And not everyone that I knew at university would do the same thing. Lots of them would do quite the opposite as far as I knew. But obviously, I didn't see everything they did in their spare time, and they could well have been just as interested in reading as I was. But thinking back now to that whole time in my life, I really could take the positives from it because there were so many, and there was so much light that entered my life in that time that even now I still feel as though I'm letting that in, letting that sink into my soul, and it's quite a amazing thing to think that we're being changed on a constant basis by everything that we do in our lives, and those changes sometimes can be felt very quickly, and sometimes can be felt years later in seemingly random moments of nostalgia, and in those times where you time travel through your mind back to a place and time that you've lived through. The beauty of those moments is present in that, and I know I can never get those moments back again in the same way because everything comes and goes, and now that's all gone. And I feel sadly that that's true, but I can only hope to find a little glimpse of something similar once again, with the memory of what a beautiful time that was. So it's great now to be back in education, and willingly self-nominating myself for the position to be giving myself the right kind of knowledge through a variety of books and other ways to learn. And it's making me feel very, very good. Once again, I've never stopped really doing that. I just changed the pace and got lost in other activities that I prioritized with more significant importance. But I take all those thoughts back, and now I'm not trying to be cool anymore. I'm just going to say education done in the right way is a brilliant thing. And if that means reading the stories of other people's lives that can inspire thoughts for thoughts and aspirations for the future for ourselves, then that is an absolutely worthwhile endeavour that should be taken on. And if that is continued consistently, there is a great, 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 great reward that will come to the person who dedicates themselves. And that reward will be knowledge, light, understanding. You'll discover great beauty and ability. So that's my little advertisement to say keep reading, which is exactly what I'm going to do more and more. So again, I've just got up and could probably cut there. I've had a slow start. Only had one cup of coffee so far, and it's 12:27 p.m. After waking up, I've just filmed a little bit and then been watching and listening to a YouTube video. I don't want to continue doing that. I don't want to continue just sitting here. I make an important point of getting out of the house every day for as long as I possibly can, because I really think it's vital to get out and to be amongst all the people in the world. So that's what I'm going to have to do. Fucking hell. As you can see, still shattered. I'll be alright. It's not really life-changing stuff, is it? It's just being tired. So just gonna go out and about, see where it leads to, and see if I can find some more energy to pick me up a little bit and make me less like this. Alright, we're going outside. See you in a bit. So I've just been in the library reading some books. Got one of these. And well, I read one book in particular. Something about a bookshop in Bath. It wasn't too bad, it was a good read. Fairly interesting. I think I did about 40 pages of that. And then I just looked at a bunch of the other ones. I nearly had a flick through Paul McCartney one, which is called The Lyrics. That looked quite good. That looked more like one I'd probably buy. It's different reading in the library. I've got to read quietly in my head. And the way I like reading, I mean, I did like it, but the way I'm used to reading is now reading out loud at home to the camera. So that's now what I'm used to. But it was really good in there. Nice, quiet, calm, quite peaceful as you imagine libraries are. And it's nice just to have a little read. Not been there for ages, so just on my way back now. Gonna drink this energy drink and then head back home. See what else we can think about doing. Alright. You know what? I think I know what I want to do actually. Oh god, snotty. Sorry about all the snotty shots. It's something I'm not really sure what to do about. Can't just cut it out every time. But oh well. Yeah, I look a bit gross sometimes. Sometimes I look better than others. I'm very aware of it. But it's okay. I think we're all like that, aren't we? Anyway, yeah, so what I said I want to do now actually is head back to the house and then carry on reading the Streets book, Story of the Streets by Mike Skinner. Started going through that book last night and really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Very well written so far, and I love to hear somebody's story from their own perspective. I've always loved autobiography, so probably going to go finish that off, or at least do some work on it, make a bit of progress, see how many pages I can get through, and hopefully just keep enjoying that read. It's very unusual how much reading I've started doing recently, but it's coincided with the YouTube. There was a point when I was in London where I sort of started to get the enthusiasm to start videoing, and I gave it a shot, but I didn't keep it up. And there was also a point there where I was reading a lot of books, and so I remember it very well. So I really feel like recently I've just sort of time travelled back to that state of mind, but I'm now just like living out all my unfulfilled desires of like the things that I really wanted to do, but I just didn't fucking get around to. So if that means reading books all day, that keeps me incredibly happy, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Call me a nerd or a geek or whatever, I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy to be happy. That's more important than anything. So, be home soon. I'm gonna neck off this energy drink. Finish off the walk home, and then just settle down, chill out for a bit. Good times. Oh well, back home now. Hooking back up to the internet. Had a nice, quiet morning and afternoon. Quite brilliant, quite lovely. And it's Saturday today, and I'm very lucky to say that it's very lucky that the library is open on a Saturday. And I'm very grateful to have the ability to go there. It is quite a lovely place, and they let you take as much time as you want to look at all their books, and you can sit down. There's free tea and coffee for any library service user, which is a lovely touch. So it's quite relaxing to just go sit there, make a cup of tea, pick up a book, and just relax for a little bit. I'm getting more and more into reading as the days go on, and I'm actually now thinking so differently to the way I used to. Like, money now, to me, when I think about it, I'm literally just calculating how many books can I actually go and buy with that amount of money, whatever it is that I'm expecting. And it's brilliant, it's beautiful. It's like buying time and enjoyment. I'm not sure really how long the average book is. There's obviously some variation. But if I'm looking at my bookshelf over here, I would say they're all roughly a similar size. Some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller, but they're all quite similar. I mean, you do get some books that are just absolutely massive, like a David Icke book, for instance. They're big books. But most of these books, I'm not sure exactly how many words they are. Let's see, how many words, or how many pages, sorry, not how many words. That book, The Story of the Streets, is about 355 pages long. And the other books that I've got on the shelf are probably fairly similar. Slightly more or slightly less. But basically, with the way that I read, which is out loud, and there can be a bit of variation in the speed. Sometimes it's a little bit slower, sometimes it's a little bit quicker. Depends how I feel. I'd like to be able to look at a book and estimate how long is it going to take me to actually finish that one off. I'd guess that so far I've put into the streets. I've put into the story of the streets around about 2 hours, give or take. I guess a little bit more than that. And I'm roughly a third of the way through. So it's about a 6-hour read for me. That's an estimate. Now, there's lots of factors that can change your reading speed. But reading too quickly means actually missing some of the understanding sometimes. Whereas stopping and rereading and thinking about what you're reading quite often means understanding what you've actually read. And really, what's the point in reading if you're not understanding what you've read? Now, there are times where I'll be reading and I'll very quickly realise whatever I've just read, and it could be pages and pages and pages and pages, I've not really been following the thread. I'm not sure who the characters are. I'm not sure what the story is about. I actually have no idea what's going on at all. Now, that happens. But here's the interesting thing. I don't think that makes it an unenjoyable read. Sometimes the meaning is much more inherent in smaller chunks of writing as they relate to your understanding of them. And everyone's experience of a book is going to be a little bit different. I mean, I can imagine some people would laugh at certain parts, whereas other people would just feel nothing. And that's quite an interesting way to think about books. There's so much that goes into them, and there's extra dimensions to books, more so than just the words on the page. There's a lot more to it than that. And I think that's where the magic lies for me in sitting down and reading, is the kind of games that a book can play with you in your mind. And I would put it down to the skill of a good writer. But I'm not aware, really, whether it's always so intentional or if there's some unintentional element on occasion that where the words become something more than what they were intended to be. And I really think it's not just the writers that write the books, but also the readers themselves that take part in the exploration of the meaning of those words on those pages by applying their own consciousness to that. And it's the conscious development of relations between writers and readers that really, I would say, continues to push the development of a writer into new directions and new discoveries. And in doing that, keeps the interest levels high for writers and for readers, and makes reading a fun, enjoyable experience. Now, there's another interesting element to reading that I've discovered recently, which is that it's very apparent to me now that the way in which we read characters is very dependent upon what's going on for us. Who do we know? How do we feel? And the connection of the read voice, meaning when you read a character's lines, how do you interpret the words? With what tone? With what intonation? Where do you place emphasis? How do you feel that character's feeling? These subtleties to the character that may or may not be inherent in the writing will always still be left for interpretation by the reader, regardless of the intentions of the writer. And when you actually realise the existence of all these dimensions to a read, it really does amaze and astound and revitalise and rejuvenate the joy that is felt so brilliantly by many people. And the lucky ones are those who never lose their access to that joy, to that feeling, to that excitement, to have something you love and cherish like that. You're very lucky if you remain connected to that. Because I personally feel like a lot of the magic that I felt so purely and strongly in my life at younger ages, with time and with development, was lost to a world of cold, harsh realities. And whenever I gain the chance to find that reconnection to the spiritual soul of life itself, the thing that makes it all so worth living, everything becomes so beautiful again. And it makes all the pain and all the suffering and all the misery and all the unhappiness just go away. Now, those are really magic moments. So, I want to do one of these. Thank you so much to all the people that have helped me personally rekindle the magic in my life. And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, may it never go away. I'm so lucky. I really mean that. Hey there. I just had something to eat. It was really good. I finished off the rice that I made, and then I added one of these skinless and boneless mackerel fillets in a sweet chili sauce by Asda. Then I added one of these. Oh, sorry, no, I added about half a tin Bachelor's Original Mushy Peas, high in protein, one of your 5 a day. British grown and packed. And I've got to say, oh wait, that's not all. So yeah, so I had in the bowl a little bit of rice, then sweet chili mackerel fillets, which are lovely. And then half a tin of mushy peas. Now for me this was quite a small meal. And then I added a little bit of butter. Here's the butter I like. I pay a bit more and get the good stuff because Lurpak spreadable, slightly salted. Oh wait. Lurpak butter blended with rapeseed oil. Since 1901, made from natural ingredients. That's my favourite butter. And it's so worth it paying a little bit more for good butter. Like the cheap butters for me are so bad. Like the super cheap ones where there's no milk content at all. And they're like made of an oil, and it's called a spread, and it's like a replica version, and it's way cheaper than the other stuff. Like, you put that stuff on toast. I do not like that stuff at all. Whereas Lurpak on toast is muy bueno. Lovely jubbly. So yeah, that's what I had. I had rice, sweet chili mackerel, mushy peas, and then a little bit of salt, a little bit of Lurpak. And that was a beautiful combination. I finally started eating through my reserves. And you know what? Despite my previous thoughts about YouTubers sharing their food online, which is what I'm now doing, I actually think I like it now. I think I like it. Yeah. I've jumped on the bandwagon and I got off the hate train because that's where I was before. I was like, why would you post your food online? Now, you know what? I get it. And since I've been vlogging, I've come to a lot of realizations about where the pleasure is in posting your content. And although other people are able to engage with it, I don't really want them to. Unless they really do want to do so. But it's kind of like now, the name of my channel is like the secret key that I can give away to those who I wish to share this part of my life with. And I think I'm now treasuring that slightly more than I had previously. And I hadn't really thought about it being like that. And when I think about it like that, it really is a beautiful thing to actually say to someone, like, check out my YouTube channel. It's letting him into your world. There's some degree of trust that comes along with that. And I know YouTube don't have the tightest controls over keeping people from viewing your content. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sure. What I'm not sure of is whether you can actually stop someone from being able to watch your videos. I'm not sure you can. I think once they go public, they go public. But I think what I could see happening for a lot of people is they have a public channel where they post, they share their life, and if they reach a size where there's issues being caused by the amount of attention they're getting, then they could create a private channel which could be a paid for subscription or something. I'm not sure. There's loads of different options, but you know, to some degree, we're all public people, and I'm not really trying to be anything at all. I just have the idea that I'd like to take a little piece of my daily life, capture it on camera, and post it up for anyone who wants to see it. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is how YouTube actually shares your videos, or if it does so at all. It seems like if you're to do any sort of quote-unquote publicity for your video, that means doing that directly, talking to people, telling them about your channel, saying check it out, either through posting that on different sites or just meeting people. I think if I start to get more and more questions about my YouTube, if people see me YouTubing, because people now, as I'm out and about walking around, they see me carrying the camera, talking to the camera, and at some point they're going to know that that's what I do. And I'm sure that there's going to be people at some point that will ask me, what's your channel called? And I'm at a crossroads now thinking, should I tell them or not? And if it happens so in the moment that I wish to share that, then I will. But I'm not really that interested in sharing it at all. If I reach a place where I really, really want to get more views and have more eyeballs on me and people interacting with my content, talking to me, that would be great. But the ideal would be that I could find other people who are doing something similar to me and posting it on YouTube, and then they could watch what I'm putting out, I could watch what they're putting out, and then that's like an even footing, isn't it? 1 for 1. You're sharing your life in the same way, I'm sharing my life in the same way. I'll follow you, you follow me. That's kind of like fair and square, even Stevens. So that might be the question I would ask people. If they ask about my channel, I would probably say, do you have a channel? Do you post videos? And if they were willing to share their channel with me, and they were open and they were honest, then maybe I would be willing to share my channel with them. Otherwise, I'm not actually looking for viewers at all. Now, lots of viewers can just appear. I'm very aware of that. And they're not all going to be making their own content. Because as far as I'm aware, you've no way to actually check who your subscribers are, what they do, and there's no real way to sort of keep them in or out. I think that would be an important mechanism to develop for regulating how a viewer interacts with your channel, or if they interact with your channel at all. The one control measure that does seem to be an appropriate measure is that if you receive a comment on your channel and you don't appreciate the contents of that comment and you wish to restrict that viewer from commenting on that video or future videos or any video at all on your channel, you can stop that person from commenting on your channel. I think that's good. But that doesn't stop people from watching. My question is, what stops people from watching? I think it's important to know that. It's like controlling the border. It's great to know that when you open the border, the people just flood in. But without the ability to close it, to stop, to ask questions, to introduce regulations, you've no discernment about who comes in and who doesn't. And that's not a good thing, is it? You'd like to spread more awareness amongst people as to what they're doing, why they're doing it. Now, it's not always possible. And chaos ensues. And there are situations outside of our control which you have no influence in, which creates situations where we end up being around people that, if we had the choice not to do so, we would have made that choice. However, I, as a person, and you as a person, and any individual, as solely an individual, can only do so much in terms of controlling situations through their will. Okay, YouTube ramble. Today's video is going strong, and we're doing good. Much better than the last few days, although there's been some great moments. Yesterday's intro was solid. Today's intro, bit wavy gravy. But the day that followed today has been strong and successful. And I think I'm going to be seeing a lot more of that, because I'm going to keep making those moves like I've been doing recently. Those power moves that are changing things quickly and getting me out of the funk. So, no more funk for me. I'm going strong. James Brown, you're a funky motherfucker. Alright. Cut. Would you help me out, please? I've always been the one to say the first goodbye. Had to love him so 100 million times. Had to get it wrong to know just what I like. Now I'm falling. You say my name like I have never heard before. I'm in this toxic, but this time I know. Oh, I'm not the only one that leaves me on. Attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me. Whatever you want it, baby. Just thought I'd see what it looked like if I did a bit of a dance on camera. Just been watching Dua Lipa video is called Full Show, live in Gröna Lund, Stockholm, Sweden, 28th of the 6th, 2022, 4K. It's a great show. Music's great. Dancing's great. Just so good. So good. I've been enjoying that. My dancing on the other side is hilarious, ridiculous, and terrible. But in saying that, it's kind of great at the same time. Don't want to blow my own trumpet. Speaking of trumpets, I was watching just before this. You know, after in this video, after I said James Brown in this video, I stuck on James Brown live, and my God, I've seen him live before, but the amount of time that he makes that audience wait for him to come out. I mean, the band's playing and they're great and they're on point, but he really, really, really likes to build the tension and the excitement. It's about half an hour before he finally appears. And then when he appears, he's just great. He's just nuts, isn't he? But he's brilliant. And every time I watch his band and James Brown, they make me laugh. And I can see on their faces they don't mind because they know it's funny, you know. And that kind of music, people who don't take themselves that seriously, and they can let you laugh at them, and they're laughing too, and they know they're funny, and they're willing to play the fool, and they're not being so serious about how they look and trying to control their image and be seen in a certain way. I really appreciate that kind of attitude. It's great. And I love to see more people like that. Now, Dua Lipa and James Brown, they're two completely different kettle of fish, to use a phrase that I don't understand. But they're both great in different ways. So that's what I've been doing for the last while. Anyway, it's getting to quarter to. It's nearly 8 o'clock basically, 8 p.m. in the evening, and this video today has been pretty long-ish, but that's okay with me. I felt a lot more like talking to the camera today, and so I have done. But I want to say I've had a great day. I hope you've had a great day too, and I hope you have a great one tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after, and then I just hope it just keeps going and going and going. And you know what? I don't just hope you have a great day. I hope it gets better and better and better and better and better every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. I hope it for you. I hope it for me. I hope it for everybody. That your life improves and brilliant things happen and you find peace of mind and joy in your heart. And that's the end of the video. And I'll see you tomorrow for more. See you later, guys. Bye.